Okay, so we have a question here about spokes. Is it the bike rider or the mechanic, or is it the bike? Riding my 700C road bike with road use only. After 12 months, my rear is now popping spokes every 200k. Pop, pop, pop. Wheel quality or hidden rust. What's the cause of it? It's got a 105 hub and Alex rim, so the hub doesn't matter. The spokes unknown. So there could be just cheap spokes. Not cheap, but just spokes that aren't strong enough. Because even expensive spokes can break. My weight or tech. How the rider doesn't say how heavy he is. So this is D. If you have any questions, ask me on Tumblr. Ask me on Tumblr. I'll put a link down below if I remember. But ask me on Tumblr. I got over 70,000 questions asked on there. I got about 25 that I've actually answered. So ask me on Tumblr. Is it too much stress when chewing the wheel? I would say, and this person says, what do you reckon? Replace all the spokes myself with DT Swiss or buy a new 105 wheel set. Finally, do you use a 1.6 or 2.1 space when using 40 XTR on a road hub with a road link? Well, it depends. If it's just a 10-speed road hub, you don't need to put a spacer there. If it's an 11-speed road hub, then you will need a spacer. Could be a 1.6 or 2.1. I think 1.6 should be fine with a road link there. So yeah, I'd say just 1.6 should work fine with that. Just come back from a ride, be a bit cold, be like G'd up. But this is, okay, so what I would do for this person, just replace the spokes. Yeah, if the rim's still working fine and it hasn't been concaved from wear and tear, then just get some new spokes in there and get some brass nipples and some new spokes and just build it back up. All right, that's what I'd recommend doing. That's going to be the most ecological and cheapest option. You could buy a whole new wheel set, but you know you could break spokes in that too. But the strongest wheel sets really are, you know, a traditional rim spoke hub configuration. Once you start getting to the alloy spokes or alloy nipples, then you start getting your low 24 spoke counts and stuff. You're going to break a lot more spokes than if you got 32 spokes. You know, 32 spokes is going to be your strongest on average, and not too weighty. So I would recommend just re-spoke the motherfucker with brass nipples and a heavier duty spoke. So we get like a DT Swiss or a Sapin spoke. That's the tip, man. Just do that. So often companies spec black spokes, and black spokes generally aren't that strong, especially if they're no-name ones. So, not sure why that is, but the strongest spokes, in my experience, are the spinachy PBO spokes, which I've got one hang up there, but I won't pull it down because I'm lazy. But they don't break ever. But you're buying a whole new wheel set then. So the spinachy Xerolites, they're a really strong wheel set, but it's like $1,000. So what you want to do, budget, man, just rip out the spokes, cut them out, chuck them in the recycling bin, lace it up, and Bob's your uncle. That's going to be the best way to do it, environmental and affordability. But spokes will break. So if you break 2 spokes in a wheel, in my opinion, you should re-spoke the whole fucking thing. Just re-spoke it the whole fucking thing. Because otherwise you're just going to be popping spokes all the time. Like Tori's broken 2 spokes on one of her wheels recently, using too much roids, and just popping spokes. So now what we're going to do is just going to take the spokes out and relace it with some stronger spokes with some brass nipples. And is that a quality issue? I wouldn't say it's a quality issue, because most people don't ride bikes that very hard, you know, at all. So most bikes don't get really thrashed. But if you're a thrasher, if you're fit, got some fitness, eventually you're going to start breaking stuff, and you'll soon work out what you need. So spokes is probably the first things to break. So if you break more than 2 spokes in a wheel, you should replace all the spokes. All right? And it's not a quality issue. It's more of the spokes are not strong enough for your application. Now, there could be high quality, expensive spokes, but they're still too light for your application, your riding style. So all you do, if you break more than 2 spokes in a wheel, you replace all the spokes in that wheel. And if it's a 24 spoke wheel, then I'd recommend getting a 32 spoke as a minimum. All right, just a traditional classic wheel set. Or if you've got some coin, look up the spinachy wheels, the spinachy Xerolites, the PBO spokes. They're really strong. I've never seen one of those spokes break ever. So if you worry about that, then get one of those. But anyways, hopefully that answers the question, Damien. And people can ask me on Tumblr. Ask Durianrider on Tumblr. Roger that.